Hello and welcome to the Kids Hair Academy Hair School for Parents YouTube channel, talking about the different hair tools that I use in my videos as well as every day in the hair salon. Not all of these tools are going to be featured in my videos, but I thought that I would do a complete once over of what I use on a daily basis for cutting and styling. First is a paddle brush. I know you've probably seen one of these before, but I'm going to show it to you. It's one of my favorite tools. I use it all the time for flat wrapping, for quick blow dries, for smoothing the hair out. This one in particular is made of wood and it has a nice massaging bristle to it. So I've used this for many, many years. It's a little kicked in. It is my work brush that I have, so I thought I'd show it all to you. Now we have the wet brushes, and these are used for detangling wet hair. So we have a little tangle teaser, that's what that handheld white one is, and the green one's a wet brush. The tangle teaser works pretty good on very tangly, very wet hair, sensitive scalps, as well as the wet brush. The wet brush has nice little nubs on the bristles, so it's more comfortable on the scalp. And the tangle teaser here, the white one, can scratch the scalp a little bit, but they're really great. It's really great for brushing out really knotted knots because it does not pull on the hair at all. The wet brush can pull a tiny little bit, so it's not a completely ouch-free brush, but which brush really is. Now these two brushes are small handheld brushes. One is a Denman brush and the other one is a Denman style natural boar hair and bamboo brush. I use a Denman brush for blow drying shoulder length or short hair like pixie cuts and whatnot, and I use both of these brushes for blow drying out cowlicks and getting the fringe dried. The nice thing about a Denman brush is it's very durable. It has rubber teeth, so it pulls a lot on the hair, which gives good tension. And it has that curved base, so when you blow dry using this brush, it blow dries a natural bend in the hair, which is very flattering, and it eases your cut line so that you can see what you're doing better. This brush has natural boar hair. Natural boar hair is really good for smoothing. So this is a smoothing brush. So if you have very small little fine hairs that you need to smooth out, this brush works really good for that, as well as stubborn hair growth patterns such as cowlicks. It will blow dry those out nice and smooth as well. So I use this brush quite a bit. Moving along to the first round brush, it is a wooden handled boar hair round brush. Again, boar hair smooths out the hair very nicely, and this one is a nylon brush. So the difference with a nylon round brush and a boar round brush are two things. The nylon brush with the vents will give you more volume, but it won't smooth the hair out very well. So if you have frizzy hair and you need it smooth, the boar hair brush is a lot better, although it doesn't provide a lot of volume because it smooths the hair out so well. So I like to have both of these brushes because I work in the industry. But if you have a child with frizzy hair, think about getting a natural boar hair brush. However, if you have a child or yourself, or you plan on using a round brush for volume, get a nylon bristle vent brush with an aluminum base. Moving along to the combs and the clips and scissors and tools and all those things. I use all these tools on a daily basis, and in my program, I highly urge you to get some sectioning clips. These are great for cutting hair. Now, this one's a metal one, so it's a lot more durable. It's a little more expensive, but it holds a lot of hair. So if you're trying to section and clip up really thick, long hair, these metal ones are great, or you can just get these plastic ones and they're great too. You'll need a little more probably to keep up the hair out of the way. They aren't as strong as the metal ones. Now I've got a lot of combs to show you. Don't be intimidated. I wanted to bring all the combs that I have at work so you could see how various sets of combs will do the same things, although I am pretty adamant about particular clipper combs. I use these a lot in the salon, and they work great when you're learning how to scissor over comb, which I show in my videos how to do traditional barber techniques, scissor over comb. So first I'm going to talk about the combs that I use for scissor over comb, and then I'm going to go into the long hair combs. These first two they're clipper combs traditionally, but I use them for scissor over comb as well. I like the thickness of this black one because it allows me to press the comb right up against the scalp and cut about a 2 guard length doing scissor over comb work. And this one is a thinner comb, so it goes more for detail work, and it allows me to do like a tight fade and get really close in the hairline and around the ears. This one is not as flexible, so this one, it doesn't have that flexibility, but it's nice and strong and has wide teeth, so I can move a lot of hair through this. I use this for scissor over comb point cutting. I use that comb quite a bit, and I use it for clipper over comb as well, as these two are both they are actually clipper combs because of the size. These are not for clippers. These are for shorter haircuts because they're a smaller comb, so they allow you to control the hair better, especially with the finer teeth. So you're able to switch back between your hands and your scissors when you're cutting, say, like diagonal sections. I have some videos on those. And these combs are really great for detailed, shorter haircuts. This is another detailing comb. It's very flexible. It allows you to shave around the ears, get very tight into the sideburns, and you can even use it to trim eyebrows if you wanted to, because it's one of those combs that it's very good. And I use the tail comb here in these styling videos. This is a carbon comb. It does not melt on hot tools, so this is a comb I recommend for use in the barrel curl video. It's a carbon comb. It does not melt. Some combs do melt on the iron, so you do have to watch. But tail combs, you mostly use them for color, but I'm using them for the curling iron as well. These combs here are for long hair. I use them for long hair and cutting layers. And I have one that has a nice, even, wide teeth, and that's good for bobs and haircuts that you need to cut with zero tension, so bobs and baseline haircutting. This comb I use the most because it has the extra wide teeth, but they're also rounded, so they detangle the hair quite easily and they don't pull, which is really nice for kids' hair. And they have that little sectioner at the end, which is great for doing nice, clean subsections when I work. So if you can find a comb like this in the store, that is great. I will have them available for sale on my website for people who have taken my program. A lot of these combs aren't necessary for cutting hair, but you do want at least one comb for cutting long hair and one comb for cutting short hair and detail work. This last comb is something I wanted to show you because this you can easily find in any store, a comb that looks like this, and this is very suitable for a long hair, although I would get teeth that are a little wider, especially when you're cutting kids' hair. Sometimes it can pull too much, but it does have an interesting feature where it has numbers on it, so you can kind of measure what you're doing. So you saw the numbers there, but that's for it, not with the numbers, but that's a pretty standard comb that you can find at any store. So those are the 3 combs I use for long hair. I'm going to go over my clipper that I use. Now, this is technically edgers, but they do sell them with guards. I like the size of it, especially for children's hair. This is a wall peanut, and it does have a cord. It is a very powerful motor, and you can actually use it to do really nice fades and clipper cuts as well because of the strength of it. I wouldn't necessarily use it on an adult male, but for children's hair, it's great, and it does come with a set of guards. With clippers, you want to make sure that you oil the motor all the time, every time you use it, and that's how you're going to ensure that the clippers last the longest and your investment doesn't break down. Going over the cutting scissors now. These are my main cutting scissors at the salon, and these are from Japan. I love these scissors. They're about 5 inches long, and I would recommend getting a good pair of cutting scissors. These, however, these are thinning shears or texturizing shears, and I don't use them in any of my videos, but I wanted to show you what professional texturizing shears look like. And they cut straight lines in the hair. So they take out notches of hair in a straight line. So the reason why I didn't show them in my videos for beginners is because they can lead to a little bit of a disaster. But I will most likely feature a video on how to use those on my website. And now we're on to the hot tools. This is obviously my flat iron. Everyone's seen it. The reason why I'm showing you the flat iron that works well for styling is this pivoting ball joint flat iron that I have, and then also the plates pivot as well. So that's what you want to look for when you're getting a flat iron and using it for curling the hair. You want those two specific things. One thing that I do recommend especially though is temperature control, so that you can turn the heat of the iron down when you're practicing all those curls. So make sure you can control the temperature there so you don't burn off people's hair. This is a Marcel curling iron, and it's a little different from a standard curling iron that you might have at home. It has no spring in the handle, and there's no safety tip on the end, so the end is hot on this one. I like to teach people how to use the Marcel iron because of the versatility of it. Is the one tool that you really need to buy for various different types of waves and curls, and I use this exclusively in the salon. It comes in various different sizes and diameters. You just have to watch that you don't burn the person with the tip of the iron. A Marcel iron has a rotating handle and a rotating grip, and that way you can spin the iron around in your hand, and that allows you to do a lot of different things. And I can do anything that looks like finger waves. I can do roller sets with these. You can do beach messy waves. You can do everything, and I've shown you some videos on my website on how to use this thing. I have about 4 of these different sizes. I use these exclusively. They're really great. I think that for one hot tool to get, a Marcel iron is great. Finally, we have a standard blow dryer. Everyone's seen a blow dryer. The only note I have about that is when you invest in a blow dryer, make sure you clean it all the time. And when you're blow drying your kid's hair, set it to the medium temperature when you do. So that's all for now. That's the tools description. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to this channel. Check out my tutorials online. That's kidshairacademy.com. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Take care and happy cutting.